Next up, we have Evan Wells. He's the director at Naughty Dog, and he's going to be showing us Jak 3. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
So this is the third game in the trilogy. This is it, and it's actually coming out really soon after the second one.
Yeah, we're doing this game in a year schedule, so it'll be out this holiday season.
Great. Well, why don't you go ahead and give us a story. Where are we up to this point, and what happens in this one?
All right, well, when Jak 2 ends, the city's kind of in a sort of small period of peace, but quickly there's a power vacuum, and somebody named Count Viger rises to power, and he really is against anything Dark Eco. Jak has Dark Eco infused in him, of course, from Jak 2, so he immediately banishes him from the city. So Jak is out in the wasteland now, and he's left to die. But it turns out that that's actually a whole group of people who live out there called the Wastelanders, and that's actually where Sig came from, if you remember that character from Jak 2. So he goes and visits that city, and he ends up having an adventure out in the wasteland.
Great. All right, and you're going to show us at what point are we at in the game here?
Well, right here, this is the Wasteland City. It's called Spargus, and as you can see, it's quite different than Haven City. It's much more like a desert, and we have people walking around the Wastelanders, and they're like Sig in that they all carry guns, and if you shoot them, you'll piss them off, and they'll fire back. And in this particular mission, I've been asked to round up a few of the pests and the rodents that are infesting the city. So, I look at my map down in the lower right corner, and I can follow them around and try to catch them with this lizard that I can ride. The lizard can jump and hover in the air, and has also got a slam down attack like that to take out your enemies.
And you get the great little dust trail on the guy running in the background.
Right, so I'm trying to track him down, and let's see if I can do him in. So, there we go. So we designed the city to solve a lot of the problems that we heard from the fans and the critics about the game.
Sorry about that.
In Jak 2, one of the problems was that our city was too maze-like, and the traversal time between tasks could be tedious. So we wanted to open it up and really give the player more freedom to maneuver through the city how they like.
Okay. And now, how far in is this level?
This is the very first level that you'll encounter in the game, yes.
Okay, great. And we have one question here from whoops, I lost the message. Well, I remember the message. Someone just wrote in. I was going to read your name, but I'm sorry, I lost it. They want to know how many vehicles will be in the game. If you could tell us about those.
Well, I can talk about the vehicles. There's quite a few vehicles, and actually I'll jump to the next level to show you one of them.
And how many levels, actually?
There will be over 60 tasks. It'll be very similar in size to Jak 2.
Okay.
In this mission, I get to ride one of the Wasteland vehicles, which are these dune buggy, four-wheeled dune buggies. It really gives us an opportunity to showcase the rigid body physics system that we developed. It's a very complicated simulation of physics. We have different gear ratios, different slip differentials, centers of gravity, horsepowers and torques. So it really is a realistic simulation on this dune buggy. In this mission, I'm out to hunt these Wasteland metalheads, which are quite powerful. They're much bigger than the metalheads Jak's used to having to deal with. And if they actually hit my car, they can throw me quite a ways. Fortunately, I've got machine guns, but he's also got grenades.
Yeah, right. And he's a lot bigger than you.
Yeah, he's a little bit bigger than I am.
So who's the enemy that people are really going to have to look out for?
Oh, yeah. And let me see if I can get over here. Yeah. All right. So this wasteland that I'm exploring right now is actually 5 times the size of Haven City, so it's much larger than Jak 2 was. Yeah. But what we've done is we've given you this vehicle that travels much quicker than the vehicles did in Jak 2. And we've also done away with any of the city streets and walls that made you go through lengthy traversals. So again, we're addressing the issues that we thought we had with Jak 2 to try to make a better game.
Okay. And we have a question here from a viewer. It looks like number O dude, could be number 0 dude. What new innovations do you wish to bring to the platform genre?
Well, what we're doing at Naughty Dog is we're taking the design in a different approach. We really don't want to just make a sequel to a game that's just a laundry list of bullet points for the back of the box, like 10 new vehicles, 8 new weapons, 5 new enemies, this and that. We look at it as an experience that we want to create for the player. We want to look at it like we're making an action movie. And every single scene, you're performing a different action, and you don't know what's going to come next. And so we really have the freedom with the quality of programmers that we have to give the players a lot of variety and something new, a twist around every corner, basically.
Great. And could you also tell us about Jack's light form?
Yeah, in Jak 3, we've actually introduced a light Jak mode for Jak to balance out his dark Jak. In Jak 2, he's infused with dark eco. In Jak 3, he's infused with light eco. It's sort of a yin and a yang, and it's part of the story as well as part of the gameplay. The dark eco gives him dark powers, which are very aggressive and offensive attacks. The light eco, rather, is more of a defensive or traversal facilitation power-up. So we have power-ups like health power-ups. We have flight, which allows you to cross very wide gaps, and we also have a flash freeze effect, which actually slows time and distorts the screen, and allows you to take out a lot of enemies or slow fast-moving objects in the environment to get you through them.
Okay, great.
And in this level, I'll demonstrate some of the new weapons that Jak has.
Okay. How many new weapons, roughly?
There are 8 new weapons for a total of 12 weapons that Jak has. In Jak 2, we introduced 4 weapons. In Jak 3, we wanted to keep the simplicity of the 4-weapon system that we had in Jak 2, but allow Jak to have more weapons. So we only have 4 ammo types: red, blue, yellow, and purple. But each of the ammo types has 3 different guns. So as you can see here, I have the same red gun that I had from Jak 2, but I can switch to the second mode, which powers up and then launches a 360-degree attack. So enemies all around me, no problem. I also have the 3rd level of red. Let me get that out. Which fires off a grenade and pretty much takes out everything. We also have the same yellow shot from Jak 1, and on the 2nd level it becomes a ricocheting shot, which sorry about that, which I'll demonstrate here. So as I shoot against the wall, it actually seeks out an enemy and hits them like that. So it's a smart ricochet.
Okay.
And the 3rd level of yellow will actually shoot out a weapon that just blows away everything in the room. So very powerful.
That's a good weapon to have.
Yeah. And then we'll come to my favorite gun, the blue gun. Again, from Jak 2, we have the ordinary chain gun, but we also have a Ghostbusters or Raiden type weapon.
Yeah.
And my favorite of them all is the 3rd level of blue, which is a needle gun, which seeks out all the enemies on the screen, so you don't even have to aim. As you can see, it shoots my ammo much quicker than the 1st level of blue, so it's a strategic choice whether you want to aim and use the little ammo or not aim and just kill everything in the room.
Kill everything in the room. Yep. Now, are you going to show us a Daxter minigame?
Actually, I can't show you the Daxter minigame, but I can show you the War Factory.
Okay.
So the question was asked how many vehicles are in the game.
Yep.
I don't really have a good answer for that because it's as many as we need to make the game fun.
Right.
We don't, like I said earlier, we're not trying to make a bullet point list for the back of the box. We're just trying to, every new mission is a new experience, and what does it take to make that experience fun?
Okay.
In this one, we wanted you to be able to fly over Haven City and get a bird's eye view of the entire city below. So as you can see, Haven City's down below me, and where the palace used to be is a floating war factory. And you actually, in this game, get to fly a Hellcat cruiser up above Haven City to take out the war factory. And what's really great about this is after I shoot out all the targets, I'll actually land the Hellcat and I'll enter this building, and there's an entire level inside the building where I have a boss fight.
Oh, wow. This level segues nicely into the next question, being from Zombie FX. What's the difficulty like in Jak 3 versus Jak 2?
Well, I'm glad that question was asked because that was another point that we wanted to address for this game. Was we listened to the feedback that we read on the news boards and that we heard from consumers and critics alike, and we really wanted to address the difficulty issue. We intentionally went out to make Jak 2 a difficult game, but I think we overshot and made the difficulty spiky in certain points of the game. And we're really going to take care of that in this game through a couple of methods. One including dynamic difficulty adjustment, which will help recognize when a player is struggling and has died on a level many times or spent too long a period of time trying to defeat a mission, and then give them subtle help and maybe make the enemies respawn slower or shoot a little bit slower, give them more health, that kind of thing.
Is it a challenge not to make a platform game difficult?
It's a challenge to find the right difficulty because you have a wide variety of skills with your audience, and in the games that we make, we also put a lot of variety of game mechanics in our game. So somebody might not be skilled at a flying section like this, and might have more trouble with it than they do the platforming section. So that's where the dynamic difficulty adjustment will really kick in and allow the players of all skill levels to enjoy the game.
Personally, what's your favorite level?
I'm personally partial to the dune buggies in the desert. I really think they're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The physics simulation feels great already, and we're still several months out, so it's only going to get better. And I think it's just a lot of fun.
Now, for someone who hasn't played the first two games, will they be able to just kind of jump in? I mean, obviously they can play it, but will the storyline mean something to them on its own? Absolutely, the storyline stands on its own, but it's also there for the fans of Jak and Daxter to notice some things that we're doing in this game, where we're actually trying to wrap up the trilogy and sort of bring closure to some of the questions and mysteries that we brought up in the first two games, and sort of just bring a sense of finality to the trilogy. Not a finality to the franchise, because there's still a lot of adventures for Jak and Daxter in the future, but we're just going to wrap up some loose ends. Wrap up. Okay. Do we have another question from the viewers? We're scrolling for one now. Now, when will the game be available?
It's going to come out this holiday season, so in time for Christmas, yeah.
Great. And here's one last question, and this is from, can't quite read it. Are there any hidden Easter eggs to find?
Yeah, we'll put in a lot of hidden Easter eggs. We always like to do that. We got this great, excuse me, we have this great, huge, expansive desert wasteland, which has got a lot of hidden corners and little secret places, so I think there'll be a lot for people to find as they explore the island. Yeah.
Great. Does anyone in the audience have any questions? Thought I'd throw that out. Anyone? We'll tell you ahead of time next time. Oh, I'm sorry? Show Daxter. Well, can you show Daxter?
Can I? I can't show Daxter, but there is a lot of playable Daxter in this game. We actually, as another request from our fans and the people on the boards, they want a lot more playable Daxter. So we've got some missions that will have Daxter riding animals, riding vehicles, and we also have parts where, as you're walking through the level, there's areas that Jak can't access because it's too high or too small.
Okay.
Daxter jumps off his shoulder, crawls through the hole, and then there's some platforming sections with the Daxter. So it should be a lot of fun.
Well, you mentioned that you really, you pay attention to the forums, and you pay attention to your fans for making the third game. How do you determine what to keep from the prior games? What sort of characteristics or features, and what to change? I mean, besides the advice, how do you as a team sit down and decide these things? It has to be hard.
It is hard, and a lot of people have their personal favorites, and that always plays a part. But it's really focused on not making the series stagnate. We want to make sure that every game is fresh and new. You saw what we did between Jak 1 and 2, big difference. We want that same difference to be evident between Jak 2 and 3. If we take screenshots and from Jak 1, 2, and 3, spread them out all over the table, I want people to very easily say, that's Jak 1, that's Jak 2, that's Jak 3. There should be no confusion.
Okay, great. Well, we have one question here. This will be our last one. What kind of challenges did you overcome with the PlayStation 2 hardware architecture to get to such massive levels and still keep a steady frame rate? Good question. Thank you.
It is a good question. And the answer is a lot of hard work and very smart programmers. So we're very fortunate to work with Sony and be an exclusive Sony developer, which allows us to really focus at getting the most out of the PlayStation 2, which is just an incredible piece of hardware and has a ton of life left in it. So it's really great, and we surprise ourselves every single game with how much more we can do.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time. It's playable at the booth?
It is.
Okay, so everybody who's standing here, go over and check it out. And for those of you at home, keep downloading. Thanks so much for being on the show. You guys want to stick around? We have more coming up. We have giveaways. We also have our Jade Empire interview coming up shortly, and a whole lot more. It's not over yet, but it's getting really close, so stay tuned. Talk to you soon.